Welcome back again to Mission Sunlight Extra. This is part 2 of hearing the story of Our Home Lifestyle Center in Western Ukraine. And again, I'm back with our guest, Stephen Grabiner from Outpost Centers International. Now, Stephen, before we took the break, we said there's some new projects happening at Our Home. Tell me a little more.
Well, their influence has spread throughout Ukraine and into Russia. And every year they have a kind of like a camp meeting, spiritual meeting. And they've had individuals come and begin to share what they're doing in different locations. A few years back, there were like a handful of people, 4 or 5. This last camp meeting, there were about 50 people who had shared how they'd caught the vision from Novi, and they'd gone out and they've started a small ministry, maybe just a little tiny health food store, maybe just doing health ministry in their community. But it's really thrilling to see the influence expand far beyond their local territory.
And when you hear this, the influence happening, you know that there is an adversary who is trying to limit that influence. And certainly with the political crisis that has happened in Ukraine over the last year plus, there has been an impact on Our Home. Tell me about that.
Yeah, well, particularly the current crisis, since the ouster of the previous president and then the turmoil with Crimea and then in eastern Ukraine, Russian guests have ceased to come. They don't want to take the risk of coming. So their clientele has really gone down from being full every session. They've really not been very full at all. Even Ukrainian guests are not wanting to come. The local currency, the hryvnia, has lost a lot of its value. And so they're just in a very, very difficult situation.
So to some degree, you could say they're just really trying to maintain at this point, but even they're probably not even quite maintaining, just desperately trying to keep their head above water.
They're just desperate, trying to keep their noses above water.
Yeah. So how can we help? What about the interested viewer who's watching today? How can we help?
Well, one of the strangleholds or the leverages maybe perhaps that Russia has on Ukraine and a bit on Western Europe is that they supply natural gas. And so they control it. That's obviously a huge bargaining chip. Novi, Our Home, would like to move away from natural gas, and they found a boiler system which works on wood. They also happen to live right next to a forest, which would enable them to supply all their heat just by their labor, cleaning the forest, cutting down some trees. So they're looking to purchase a new heating system for their project, for the ministry.
Okay. So again, the interested viewer says, how can I help? You've shared with them how they can help. How can they contact to actually make that gift?
You could a viewer could either look at our Outpost Center's Facebook page. We have a link there to a fundraising campaign that we're doing. Or you could go to outpostcenters.org, or you could write us at info@outpostcenters.org, or feel free to do something old-fashioned and pick up the phone and call us at 423-236-5600.
And I would just make a note that those who might be jotting the website down, remember it's .org.
That's right.
Outpostcenters.org. Good.
Or on Facebook, Outpost Centers, pretty easy to find.
Sure. So let's assume that by God's grace, they rally and they are able to sustain through this with the help of viewers and others who are supporting, because they do have a network of people interested in this. It isn't just those who happen to be listening today. But as they press through this challenge, what's next for Our Home?
They've got a great vision. They always had since from the very beginning. Their lifestyle center, under normal circumstances, is really too small for them. And so they would like to expand their lifestyle center and do some major remodeling, which is really overdue in their case.
Great. Well, thanks for joining us today, Stephen. I appreciate your time.
My privilege.
And thank you for joining us for this Mission Sunlight Extra.